Hello everyone, this is Joanna the Medium. Thank you so much for coming back. And for those who of you who are new, thank you so much for joining, and I hope you like what you see. This is going to be your June forecast. I hate the word forecast because I don't predict per se. Your June reading, intuitive reading, let's put it that way. An exciting month. I feel there's a lot of changes we're all going through, and I've been seeing that from you as well. Bear in mind, these are general readings, which means they will not connect with everyone. If it did, I don't think that's even possible. They do, interestingly, connect with a lot of you. Pieces may connect with you, some pieces may not. It may not connect with you one day and totally connect with you a day later or a week later. So do listen to this whenever you listen first and then at the end of the month, because they do make much more sense. Also, because these are general, listen to it to the other signs, your moon sign and your rising sign, as well as sun sign, because they will offer you a lot more information oftentimes. And of course, these are general, like I mentioned, so it's impossible for me to cover everybody. And if you would like a private session, that information is down below for you. I decided to do Uranus readings, so I will be doing those within the next couple of weeks. I will let you know when they are done, and I will focus on the entire 7 years of what we can expect for each sign, and that's how my guides are asking me to present this. So it'll be a big picture. So stay tuned. I will be announcing when that will be ready. And I think that's all I have. Have yourself a wonderful month of June. For those of you who have birthdays in June, happy birthday. And without further ado, let's move on with individual signs. I'll see you in a bit. Hello, beautiful Taurians. This is going to be a reading for the month of June 2018. Let's start off with channeled information. When I tune into your energy, I felt excitement. I couldn't quite put a finger on what it was, other than I was excited, but at the same time slightly apprehensive. There's a feeling of newness that you guys are approaching, that we are approaching, whether it's a start of something new or you are perceiving that something is about to start, something very significant. I felt this excitement going on. I also heard ambition and functionality are your words for the month of June. So each and every one of you will have to figure out, how that applies to you and what it means to you. But functionality to me means something that is stable and easily workable. And ambition is something that one desires. So maybe this is about putting your dreams together in a way that seems to fit better, putting something important that you've been thinking about together and make it workable or make it work for you. Functionality is the word. And of course, there's other ways of saying that, but ambition and functionality is hugely important. Also, the word focus. So I feel like, again, that I've been talking about this for months, but there's definitely an inevitable new beginning happening to many of you. Then I saw some of you drawing up a list of pros and cons. So you were either looking at something to undertake or move. You're making a list of pros and cons, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So you are comparing, whether it's comparing positions, comparing situations, comparing salaries, comparing will this work versus will this work. You are making lists of pros and cons, and that will apply to each and every one of you differently as well. I also saw you pushing a boulder, and the word boulder was specifically said to me, so I had to actually look up what it meant. And yes, what it meant is what I thought, but for some reason you were pushing a boulder. Now, to me, it signified something significant that you are trying to move forward, push forward, get it off the ground, but it is heavy. Not heavy in terms of negativity, but heavy in terms of its significance. So whatever it is that you are building, trying to mobilize, trying to start, trying to create, there is a feeling of you pushing forward with this, but it seems to be a bit of a daunting task, not because it's, again, necessarily bad, quite on the contrary, but it feels quite substantial and quite weighty. It has a lot of weight to it, so it's important. Then I heard the word ripe, and it was together with the vision of the boulder. So what I'm getting here very, very clearly is that many of you are just about ready to push something forward, something you have been working on for quite some time, something that you have been building, cultivating, attending to, and you are ready to move forward. And I'm hearing the words fresh start, and you're ready because you're ripe. Everything is in its right condition, or the conditions are right in order for you to do whatever this is. And then I saw the weirdest thing. A native man appeared to me, and this was a native Indian American, is that how I want to say it? And he appeared to me wearing this headdress full of feathers. So this is very traditional headdress that I'm seeing. And I heard that this is a guide for whoever you are. And I don't think I've ever gotten a message like that before, but if you resonate with a native American, Indian American, native person, either in your past, under your belief system, and those of you who are meant to hear it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This person appeared to me, and I'm hearing the words, pay attention. So if you have a guide that you are aware of, he's trying to get your attention. That's interesting. The numbers around you are number 1 and 5, which comes to a 6. So 6, it's all about balance. It's about harmony. And I think we all have been working towards attaining more of stability, certainly financial stability, but more control of our life, more harmony within, more stability within. 1 is new beginnings and 5 is changes. So if there are new beginnings, obviously there's going to be changes. And from what I can tell, many of you are starting something new. And I think we've already gone through it. So then I asked for 3 cards that signify what you need to focus on in the month of June. You have the card Soulmate in protection position. So right away, to me, this felt like the Lovers in reverse. What this is saying to me is that some of you will be transitioning or are transitioning from one relationship to another, away from a relationship, or how you are in a relationship, because this message talks about a significant person in your life, and doesn't have to be romantic, but generally that's what people often think about. Could be a coworker that means a lot to you, could be your best friend, could be your sister, but there's a message here of being at odds with somebody, perhaps being on 2 different pages, where situation ensues that may make things a little bit uncomfortable. So for some of you, it's you parting your ways, and for others of you, is you deciding to do something different. This isn't necessarily a card of a breakup, although it can be. I'm not seeing it that way, but again, I'm hearing transition. So this is transitioning from jobs. This is transitioning from, there's more attachment to a person here than a situation, but I'm going to say it. It's something that's really, really important for you. Some of you, this could be a soulmate, twin flame, whatever name you want to use. I don't use generally these labels, but there is something significant with a significant person in your life that is will take place or is already taking place. The next card you have is higher power. So this is about you focusing on your higher power, connecting with your higher power. And for those of you who have been neglecting yourself and have been giving your power away, this is about getting your power back. And perhaps this is getting power back from a substantial relationship. Whenever we have these messages of soulmates or anything of that nature, it always signifies that there is a very, very important lesson to be learned from that particular relationship. And for some of you, whatever this symbolizes, there's an opportunity for you to learn something about you or about the situation in general. But definitely connecting to your higher power and reclaiming your higher power is hugely, hugely important. And perhaps that's why there's going to be a situation, or maybe it's already happening with someone that you don't necessarily agree with. The next message you have is to the sea. So this is about being in a perfect flow. Whatever is happening right now, it's in its divine accordance. That's what I'm being asked to say. So, and therefore, taking it day by day, but also going with the flow would allow you to gain the most out of this experience. Now, oftentimes where things are changing or where things are not going to our liking, we have a tendency to resist. When we resist, we basically put up a fight. And since we're meant to go through a certain situation in order to learn something about ourselves, the best way to functionally move this forward is to accept what's happening and just go with the flow. The other part of the message signifies that you are exactly where you need to be, and things will flow into you as you keep going forward. So this is not a time of making drastic choices and decisions. This is more about allowing things to flow. And I want to say the phrase, let the river find its own level. That's let life show you the next steps. And I feel like there's a feeling of flowing. So if you are having difficulty with a relationship, notice what it is that you need to learn from it. Recognize what that is. Do what's necessary, and that may transition your relationship to a different level. For some of you, you will transition out of a relationship because it's no longer working. And there's various other ways of saying this. But I think you get the picture. And in the flow is signifying this is things are going exactly they're meant to be going, and certain things will surface as a result of you growing. And when we connect ourselves with our higher selves, and when we stop giving it away, things certainly change as a result in any relationship. So then I asked for three cards, but 4 came out, and I felt I needed to put them out. You have the oyster. So oyster is all about making sure that you are not hiding. If there is some aspect of you that wants to come out, some treasure, and what I mean by that, whether it's healing abilities, whether it's singing, whether it's craft, whether it's some special skill, whatever it is that is out inside of you, and you perhaps have been fighting, maybe the treasure is you. The message of this card is letting that come out in the open. So you can see this oyster here, and there's, I want to say, like light coming out of this shell, because there's something magnificent inside. Whatever you have been hiding wants to also come out. So I want to say, let things come out of hiding, particularly when it comes to any sort of ambition that you have. Here's the word again. Then you have the phoenix. So very appropriately so. Phoenix is all about, change and transformation. And it is, Phoenix energy is when we are no longer willing or choosing to do the things we've always done, given the return we have received. And we're choosing to move forward with a slightly different way of doing things. And this is based on understanding ourselves fully. So it makes sense to me that it shows up after stop hiding, because if you have been given your power away, if you have not been yourself fully, if you have been stopping yourself, if you have been all, gazillion other things that we do to hold ourselves back, this is one of those times where you are more likely to come out of hiding. So Phoenix is a very transformative energy. This is also moving away from people and situations that no longer serve you, because it's the belief system or the ideology is outdated and rooted in a belief system you no longer subscribe to. So there's a fundamental change here. Now I'm being reminded about Uranus, and yes, we had that on the 15th of May, and Uranus is all about being true to ourselves and allowing our true selves to come out. So essentially, this is basically saying the same thing. you have the dolphin, and I always say dolphins are, I don't know what it is, there's something about dolphins that is just like beyond explanation for me in an amazing way. But I've also heard often people say once you touch a dolphin, you will never be the same again, in a positive way. So there's few things I want to mention here. One is there's a psychic component with this message for me, and for some of you, this is you coming out of hiding when it comes to psychic or healing abilities. For some of you, you are a healer and it's time to come out of hiding. And the message I'm getting here is you're one of those individuals that are rare to find. And I have no idea how to base that, but I'm being asked to say this. And then I'm hearing the words recognize this. So whatever you have been hiding has a transformative quality that can totally transform or change a person for the better. For the better, can I say it that way? Yes. So this could be a healer, this could be a psychologist, it could be anybody who helps another person. But I'm getting a sense here that there is more of a, can I say, esoteric component to it. So maybe it's more of a non-traditional way of healing or doing things. You might be a public speaker that talks about spiritual concepts. There's something there here with the healing ability. Now, one of the things I want to mention is for those of us who have given our power away, if we do have gifts and we are not empowered inside, it's going to be very hard for us to use these gifts in the most effective way possible. So you separating yourself from something that doesn't serve you anymore, or learning from a certain situation and moving on, getting your power back, will certainly put you in a much better position in order to open up yourself with gifts, because you'll be more comfortable with who you are in general. And then you have the crow. Crow is a fascinating animal to me. Again, this speaks to me about something psychic. Perhaps the crow is connected to the guide that I was seeing, Native American, Native Indian guide, because there's very shamanic component here with the crow. Crows are shapeshifters. And why am I saying that? Because they are, that's what they're told, that's what they're said to be. But why am I saying this to you guys? You have the ability to change at will. What does that mean? Perception of yourself. So again, shifting perception, shifting how you see yourself, which will shift the way you see the world, because you'll see it, you'll be looking through different lenses. I also want to say crows are scavengers. Why do I want to say that? Because that means they're very resourceful. And you're a survivor. This crow is sitting on top of the globe, on top of the world. You have the power to do with this gift what everybody has been saying for years. So this is for maybe just one specific person for you, but that was literally channeled message. Whoever you are, you have the power to make the difference that you have been told before, or however that came. So if you are one of those people where people have been saying, oh my God, you really have something amazing, and you're like, not really, chances are this is what this message is for. It's for you. So there's definitely qualities of some psychic healing, esoteric, non-traditional ways of healing that is coming up. For some of you, it's a speaker, and I think I already talked about that, because speaking is also one of your words. Now, speaking could be speaking your truth, allowing yourself to be vocal about things you haven't been in the past, speaking to ask for what you want and what you need. Speaking basically allows you to effectively communicate, but this could also be public speaking, and I feel I've said this to Taurians before more than on one occasion. Now, moving on through the cards. I pulled 4 cards for you, 4 tarot cards, 3 and 1 clarification. You have the Hierophant. You have all 3 were major arcana, so there is an important message here. You've got the Hierophant, you've got the Magician in reverse, and you have High Priestess. And as a clarification, you have 7 of Pentacles. So when I see this, I saw it first as a story. The very fact that it's all my major arcana is also very significant, because there is something very significant happening within you, or is about to happen, and I think it'll keep on happening for quite some time. Number one, the Hierophant to me is someone who signifies a position of authority on a certain subject. What I feel this relates more to than anything is this is representing you, someone who is very knowledgeable, someone who is very wise, someone who has the ability to heal others, to give counsel to others, to give hope to others in a way that's very, very meaningful. And perhaps what's coming out of the shell is you as the healer. Another message I get from this is that you might be seeing somebody who is helping you solve a problem, someone who is an authority, someone who's perhaps has a different background and a certain education. Whatever it is, there's a component here of hearing and listening to a wise person, or you are listening to your inner guide. And I feel for more than most of people, this represents you and your ability to, I want to say the word counsel, and whether it's in a counseling role as a profession or a helping role of a friend, it makes no difference. You have that quality. Then you have the Magician in reverse. All this is saying to me is that there is a brand new beginning about to happen, but there's something preventing you from doing so. And because you have the High Priestess, this is, High Priestess, this is someone who is very emotionally balanced. This person is very balanced, and this person solely depends on her intuition, or she depends on her intuition quite a lot. And I feel the reason why the new beginning isn't here yet is because you're having a hard time deciding between some choices. Now, these could be choices with regards to where you go next, what to do with your situation, perhaps who this soulmate for you is. And when I asked for clarification, I got 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And what this is saying to me is that there is something in your life that has not been bearing fruit. In other words, you've invested a lot, but there is not much in return. Again, this could be a job, certainly could be a situation, could be a friendship where you have always given more than you received, and it just becomes totally unbalanced. If you have given always more than you received, then there's a chance that you have been giving your power away. So you might want to ask yourself the question why, if that in fact is you. But generally here, that's what it is. It's perhaps you're going to ask advice from someone who is in a leadership position in order to help you make a choice. This could be a financial investment, and this could be obviously a relationship investment, but something that hasn't been working, or something that you've invested a lot in, but you are not getting the same in return. There is a decision for you to make. And I feel that it might be also between two choices. If this is a career situation, then you're wondering which way to go. If you are trying to invest in something, you are trying to figure out which way to go. An investment could be emotional investment as well, even though this is Pentacles, but this is a regular general reading. And then I'm getting the number 7. So perhaps July, and this is 7, perhaps July is going to shed some light on what I'm talking about. July is being underlined, so somehow July is very significant. Perhaps July is when you will have your new beginning. But there's something about the month of July, yes, and it's being circled. Also, in the month of July, you may feel like you have transitioned to a new situation, but the transition is more of a feeling. So you might feel by July that you have come full circle with some situation. And I think that's what I want to leave you with. Remember, the number 6 is all about harmony. So that's where you are going. You're moving towards a greater balance, certainly emotionally speaking. And if that's the case, it'll be visible in your physical life. And I think that's all I have. I hope this was helpful. If it makes no sense, listen to it at the end. It makes no sense to me. Never does at the beginning. Thank you so much for listening, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. If this makes sense to you, please comment. I read every single one of them. I love reading them. Thank you so much. And for private session, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much again. Have yourself a wonderful month of June, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye.